one of the areas that we are helping more and more expats with is British expats living in the US. No surprise, there's I think over 2 million of them. I think there's more expats there than anywhere else. We're coming across a lot of expats who have been in the US and are now coming back to the UK. They all seem to have a fairly similar problem in the US. A lot of companies will give fairly attractive kind of employment benefit packages. They'll have pension contributions. They'll be given share options. So there's a couple of problems that will arise there for someone coming back to the UK. Firstly, if they've been paying into a US pension for a number of years, one of which is called a 401k, quite similar to the US, the employee will contribute and the employer will make contribution as well. Quite often, expats are just stuck. They don't know what to do with that. They don't think there's any options. Again, with Headway and the advisors here, we're approved to advise on US pensions as well. So it can be something that we can really help them look after even when they're back in the UK. The second thing we come across is a lot of individuals have got US shares. Now, not everybody knows this, but there is foreign investors in the US. So a British expat, for example, has accrued, a couple of 100,000 worth of US shares in the time that they've been there. As a foreign investor, they're subject to a lower estate tax, what we call inheritance tax in the UK, and that's a really, really low banding of $60,000. And if that person had died and they had more than $60,000 worth of shares, they'd be subject to a 40% tax. Really, really easy thing for us to plan around. And again, you'd be surprised how many individuals we come across who've got a lot of shares that they really, really need advice on before they come back.
I mean, I know the answer will be it depends, but what are the options if you've got a pension in America and then you come back to England? Like, how do you, where does the money go?
It really depends where we come across that client or when they approach us. If they're still on US soil and they are coming back, there are loads of options around maybe passing those shares on to their spouse, possibly putting them into some form of trust or some tax planning. There's loads of options. It's just around making sure they're speaking to somebody ahead of them moving. And that's the same for 401ks, for if they've got any US assets, ISAs, and they're thinking of going overseas. Again, just reach out to an advisor, reach out to one of their team who can advise you on the potential pitfalls and pros and cons of what they're going to come across.